This Magic Motorsports Flex tool is one of the best tools for chip tuning and repairing engine and transmission control units. Today we will show you what is included in one flex kit and what you can do with each of these accessories, cables and the interface. So let's start with So this is the main programmer, the Flex. Flex has 3 LED here for power, communication and wireless communication as well. Power and the USB are here, and here we have a big input-output port which can be used for everything else. This is the Flexbox. The Flexbox is basically a breakout box. It is used to connect to the ECU when you cannot use an OBD connection. So how does it work? You see this input-output universal port on Flexbox has another, so they can just connect together. And in this way we can program any ECU Flex supports directly by connecting wiring from one of those ports. And in total we have 6 ports. Port A is used for power, ignition and ground. Port B is divided for canvas. We have here one canvas, here another canvas. This is K line and L line, and then those several ones are outputs which can be decided by the software, so it can be 3 volt, can be 5 volt, depending on what is the need. And then we have C port, which is for JTAG with 20 pin, and D port, which is for BDM mode with 10 pin. Then we have the E port, which is used for the diagnostic of the device. So Flex has its own diagnostic system, which can check if the hardware has some faults. And it's also can be used for some certain adapter. And F port is used for some AC connector and DC connector, which is very convenient to fit. So that's all about Flexbox. Let's check the accessories. And here we have the first one is the kit of wiring. We have different colors, but actually the color doesn't matter. What matters is that you can connect to any place you want in the port A or port B. Remember to press this point here, otherwise the wire will not go in, like this. After you press, you just insert and then you leave it and it will stay like this. This way, even if you try to pull it by mistake, it will not disconnect and the USB will be safely connected to that tool. So to disconnect, you just need to push here and then pull, and then you will be fine. You need to use a little bit of strength, but it's going to be fine. In order to connect to the ECU, we have one ECU. So this is an Anemina item 7. As you see, we have male to male wire, so we need an adapter. And Magic Motorsport provides us a lot of different adapters. So let's check them out. So those adapters are included in this FLK42 kit. And as you see, there is A, B, C, D, E, F, 6 types. And each type has a different size. So for example, let's compare them a little bit. The type A is the biggest, and it's too big even for normal engine continuity. This is usually used for some transmission like the DSG TQ200 has this kind of size. So it's not commonly used. And then the B. The B is exactly what we are looking for. Let's try to connect it. And it fits perfectly. It doesn't, it's not loose, it's not too strict, it's just fine. And then when we connect, we want to connect this to the Flexbox. We just do it like this. Let's say this is power supply, so we push here. We insert, and now we have power supply connected to this one. It will not go away no matter what we do. It's quite strong in both sides. So the other type of adapters, we have Type C. Type C is small, but not the smallest. And it's quite convenient for the engine control units, non-power and non-ground pins. So canvas is also very good for this, because it fits just fine. Those two, the B and the C, are the most common on engine control units. And another one which is potentially we need in engine control units is the D, which is the smallest. It doesn't fit to many of them, but to most of them will fit fine. It will fit to most of them fine, but it will require some strength. Otherwise, the Type C, if Type B looks too small. And Type E is similar to Type T, just size is slightly different. You can just try one and see which one works best for you. And then another important one is Type F. So Type F is round on both sides. Why is that? Because some transmission control units have round pins, and this is the only one which fits fine. So for example, if you work on a Audi GS19 transmission, then this will be exactly the one you need, or DQ250, DQ500 will require that. Okay, so that's all about Flexbox connection to port A and port B. Let's check the other points. We have port C and port D. For those ports, we have specific wires, which are just the standard BDM and the JTAG wiring, so you can basically find them easily. So as you see, they will just fit. This is port C. This goes to port D, and this goes to port C. and that's all. And then from here we will have either to solder wires directly or to use an adapter. Match most offer those adapters as well. The same thing applies to BDM. Then for what other interesting stuff we have for 4T, this is a diagnostic adapter, this one. What you do with this one is you connect it over here. So let me show you. Just remember to completely open, and then you can insert. And now this adapter is needed only to make diagnosis of flags, and when you do that, make sure you disconnect everything else, because when making the diagnostic test, flags will send a lot of electrical signal to all the ports to test them. If there is an ECU connected to it or anything that's connected to it, it may make all the short circuit or damage something. So don't connect anything besides your flags and the diagnostic adapter, and then you will not break anything. This is one of the things that you can use on 4T. Another thing you can do with 4T is to use the external universal adapter. The external universal adapter basically fits just like the diagnostic adapter in the same exact position. And what's cool about it is that each of those pins is a communication line from flags, and we can connect anything we want to here using the same logic basically we have here. It's convenient, it has its uses. It's not something you will have to use often though, because the standard ports are already quite good, but for some advanced situation you may want to use this functionality with this adapter. And then for what concerns port F, this is only used by some specific accessories, so it's not included anything for this port in the standard kit, but any ECU connector or TCU connector will use this port. You can also make your own if you want to do that. Another thing about the flags and flag books is the power supply. So Magic Motorsport offers the flags power supply, which is not just any 12 volt power supply, but it's a 14 volt with 5 amperes. So if you want to use another one, just make sure you respect the same parameter, but I recommend to use the original one. Together with the power supply, you will receive also the adapters. So for example, this is for UK, but there is others. If there is an adapter that you will require, you can just ask away and we will let you know. Then the only other things you need to consider is the USB cable. This goes directly to this socket of flags and then into your computer. And then the OBD cable. We have two OBD cables. The green one is used on BMW because it's an eNet cable. So F series and G series of BMW will need it. The red one is an OBD CAN cable, so a standard one for any kind of vehicle which uses the standard OBD socket 12 volts can use this cable. And when we work in OBD, we don't need Flexbox at all. We just connect directly like this, and then we're good. The software will tell you which cable to connect if you're not sure, but mostly you will have to use the red one 99% of the time. Only if you have BMW, you will have to use the green one. And this is all about flags. So what flags can do? It can work in OBD mode with the OBD cable. It can work in bench mode with the wires of Flexbox and the custom adapters. It can also work in different methodologies like with BDM and J5 using specific wiring, like for BDM and J5, or just by solenoid points in global mode. Most protocols offer bench to connect directly to the ECU, so that's also quite convenient, but it's not completely in this hardware kit. So besides the hardware kit, what you need is the software. The software is divided into master and slave. The slave only lets you read and write encrypted files, and only a tool which is called the master will be able to decrypt or encrypt files for you to use. So in this case, you can only get the first one numbers. It's quite cheap on the other hand, and the subscription is also cheaper than the master. For a master tool, you have much more freedom. You do whatever you want, you have entire access to the file, and you can also do your own slave. So it's quite convenient to get an active. In terms of payment, hardware goes one of your both cases, it's the same exact hardware. There is also a difference. You can change from a slave software to a master software. There is nothing you can do, you can update the hardware or anything, it's just working on the server. In terms of the protocols, Flex has different packages. Like there is a full package which is about €400, and that was basically everything you need for master. There is everything that Magic Motorsport offers as on Flex is included. That includes OBD protocols, bench protocols, deploy protocols, ECU protocols, transmission commit protocols, other convenient options are the TCU only option or the ECU only option. But in terms of cost, the pool is the most attractive option. You can always also upgrade from minor protocol to the full one. So let's say if you want to start with OBD only and you want to work transmission, then later you can upgrade to the full version. That's completely okay. But you need to be charged a bit
the amount of money you should pay for a full subscription, for a full protocol package, and just deduct the amount of money you pay. So it's quite straightforward. In terms of subscription, because it is included in the working part, from the second year on, you will have to pay between 300 of the cheapest Slack protocol to 800 for the most expensive master protocol. So it's pretty big. If you don't get subscription, it's also fine. Your software will work regardless. Online function will be included. But the thing which will not work is when you get an update, your software will update it, so fixes are included. But the only issue is that if new protocols released after the expiration date, you will not be able to use them. You will get another software which tells you you cannot use the subscription month. So as long as you keep in mind that, you will not worry about it. Keep in mind also that subscription is directly linked with the customer care, so you can get those access to medical customer care and the warranty. The warranty tool is basically the lifetime warranty as long as the subscription is on, so that's also the reason to the subscription running. And keep in mind that the subscription is just not renewed before a while, and then you won't renew it. You may have to pay starting from the date of expiration, not from the date of the pay. But you need to confirm that with medical because the policy depends on that, not on us. And that's about it.